and this one I didn't even have audio. So I didn't realize how glitchy the video was in yesterday's live. So I wanted to do take two. Okay. Yesterday we talked about recessions and what this industry, is it recession proof? Is it not recession proof? Had some pretty good dialogue, had a few people on. I unlisted that video because the video was literally, it was horrible. So we are doing take two on that. So I don't know. We'll see how this one goes. So yesterday we talked about, are dumpsters recession proof? You hear it all the time that dumpsters, boy, that's recession proof. Everybody always has trash. Well, you're right. Everybody does always have trash. That makes trash recession proof, not dumpster rentals. I don't know about you guys, but I don't take trash. I don't take residential trash. I can't actually take residential trash in my dumpsters. That's considered municipal waste, and while I can do it, it's a whole different process, and I just choose not to. So, in my case, and in most cases, you're doing construction and debris, demolition, that sort of stuff, and that is certainly not recession proof. It's actually considered kind of a luxury item. So what do I mean by a luxury item? Well, when a person decides that they're going to clean out their garage, what they tend to do is, they have plenty of money. And what they're going to do is potentially hire a junk removal company to come in and clean out their garage for them. If things are a little tighter, like we're in a recession, what they're going to do is probably they're going to go to a dumpster rental and load it themselves. If money's really tight, and they scale that back a little bit, they're probably either not going to take the stuff to the dump, they're just going to forget about it, or they're going to illegally dump it. So, I don't know. I don't know which one. Just checking to see if I have anybody online yet. No, not yet. So, if dumpsters aren't recession proof, then what are you going to do? What are you going to do when a recession hits? Well, there's there's two different ways to look at it, really. Oh, I got one viewer. Nice. Okay, anyway. There's a couple of different things that you can do if a recession hits. And the first one is going to be, you can add a service to your existing business. Now, what do I mean by that? If I'm a dumpster rental company and I need more business, I'm not busy enough, what I might do is add another service, which would be something like junk removal, okay? Now, some may disagree. That might be a smart move, but it's not recession-proof. Remember, it's luxury. The most luxurious way to get rid of the crap in your basement is to have somebody else do it. So by adding a luxury item or an upscaled item from a dumpster rental, that's definitely not recession proof. Now, let's look at some famous people out there. Elon Musk, for example. Do you suppose that he niches down and he is only in one industry? Hey, what's up, Daniel? And we got Brian back. Good deal. Hopefully, the video is better today than it was yesterday. So we'll get back to the discussion in a minute. We'll talk about we'll do some chat stuff. This camera that I have here is focusing in and out, and I'm really not very happy with it. But the one I have over here focuses a lot better. I just like the picture on the other one better. So Daniel, does my video look better than it did yesterday? And how does the audio sound? Okay, well, just to recap, we are talking about how recession-proof dumpster rentals are. I think that there's a major recession, and a recession really is just people holding on to their money. There might be some scary news in the news cycle, like Israel, Iran, us, war, Russia, the port strike, things like that. People see the news and they kind of stop spending a little bit. And what that does is it contracts. So the people just start holding on to their money. They may be, making just as much money as they were before, and disposable income's the same. However, they're holding on to it. So that kind of causes a recession. What the Fed will do is mix up the interest rates in order to kind of kickstart people into giving up some of that money and start spending it. So they might drop interest rates, whatever. So that's what we're talking about with a recession. People just don't want to get off of their money. So there's really two ways to combat slow business. And I say slow business because you could be slow because it's wintertime. You could be slow because, video is still a little choppy. I don't know. I don't know. Oh yeah, Daniel, I'll talk about that in a minute. Okay, so back up a little bit. So slow seasons might be, wintertime, kids going back to school or whatever. So adding other services, you may actually attract a snootier clientele that they don't want to touch their stuff. They want somebody else to do it. So if you're offering junk removal, that might be right up your alley. And that might work good for wintertime, might work good for just the slow periods that we get. But adding a service is definitely not going to combat a recession. Certainly not. If you look at Elon Musk or any of these, rich people, I'm not a rich person, but if you look at the rich people, they're not pigeonholed into one industry or one niche. Elon Musk, obviously owns Tesla, owns the spaceship thing, and he owns X, and they're all completely unrelated. So he's more recession proof than if he owned Tesla, if he owned maybe the company that built the batteries or the motors or whatever, because when that major niche slows down and starts to contract, there's no other industry that he's in that would bounce that back up and down. So what can you do? What can you do in your business to combat a recession? I'll tell you what I have done, and what my wife and I have done. So my wife has a crafting business, and she makes all kinds of stuff, and we do craft fairs and all that. We do laser engraving, 3D printing, vinyl, you name it. We kind of do it all. So I've got a few examples here of what we do and why we do it. Where are they? Right there. So the first thing that we did to combine her business and the other one, or they're both ours, but the first thing that we did was we started doing our own vinyl. So this is a vinyl decal. This is the one we're going to put on the back of her car. The difference between this and a sticker is that this, when you put it on the vehicle, is just going to be the vinyl. It's not going to be the outline of a sticker. Okay. This is the same vinyl that you would letter a vehicle with. We have lettered all of our dumpsters. We were going to do our trucks, but we kind of chickened out a little bit. And we're just getting into doing 2-color. So this is the one that I'm putting on the back of my dumpster truck in the back window. Just so that when I don't have a can on, even people behind me can see who I am. So that's one thing that we're doing. And then we've gotten into making coffee cups. Okay, this is a Kenworth one. I was a diesel mechanic at Kenworth. We of course make ones for our dumpster business, as well as t-shirts and hats and all of that. Here are some of the t-shirts that she's made. This is I baked you some shut the fuck up cakes. That is a big seller. That's screen printed. We also have heat pressed vinyl. Here's one of my work t-shirts that I wear all the time. You can see how well that's holding up. So I don't like the feel of that one. I really prefer the screen printed ones. And here's a screen printed Thibodeau Services shirt. So we got into that to be able to do our own small batch marketing, build our own small batch marketing products, whether that's t-shirts, hats. Let me switch back to that camera. You can see the leather hats that we make. Maybe it was better in this camera, I don't know. That's one of the new leathers we're using. It's a little bit lighter, and we've done a bunch of other ones for different folks. So, but that got me thinking. You know, we do all of that for our business. What can we do for other people's businesses? So we started getting into, we're marketing ourselves as a small batch marketing products maker. So I made these dumpsters for our transfer station. They have front load dumpsters. These open up. And what I did was put their logo on the front. I made them a bigger one, and they use it as a candy dish. When you go in to pay for your, when you come across the scale, you go in to pay, you can grab a candy out of the candy dish. So that's kind of what we're leaning towards. We're going to start looking at realtors, people in our same industry, maybe HVAC guys. We can do magnets, we can do keychains. Here's one of the keychains that she did. See if I can get that to block out my face. I hate people who do this. All right. There's a keychain, laser engraved. Really hard to see. Oh, there we go. I think that these would work good for realtors. If you've ever bought a house and you have a bunch of different keys, you might have front door key, rear, back door, garage, shed, whatever. They can put all the keys on here and label them. Let me jump over to the comments real quick and get caught up on that. So Daniel's thinking about getting a flatbed to be able to haul other things. Ben Iron Bins, flatbeds are handy. They certainly are. Brian asked what quality am I streaming at? Seems very high, likely be more than your connection can handle. Maybe drop the quality down a bit. Well, that's what I did from yesterday. So I have two ways that I stream. I have a CAN link, which just plugs into the computer, and that's good to go. The big problem is my camera was my camera was on 4K and it wasn't handling the 4K. So I've dialed everything back 1080p, and it should be good, and it shows that I have excellent connection. One of the major issues, we just upgraded our internet, and I don't know, my old internet, while it said it was slower, I seem to have no issues at all. Go over here to settings, see if I can change that at all. Output. And it's not going to let me change that. No, I'm at 1080, so it is what it is. I'm just going to run with it. So Daniel's kicked the can down the road for quite a bit, thinking of starting up a pest control company like I did on the side a few years ago. See, now that's what I'm talking about. That's outside of this niche. I don't know if pest control is fully recession proof. I suspect that it is, at least to some degree. Some people might, try to use some self-remedies for pests versus calling in a company to do that if we were truly in a recession and they were tight on money. But it's really hard telling. So you really have to kind of look at, are you going to add a service to your current business, or are you going to start a new business that's separate? And I think in a recession, you need to have a plan for a business that, and it can fall up under the same umbrella, but you want a business that is separate from your current dumpster business, and not just an added service. Because if, in Daniel's case, if he were to take his dumpster company and add the service of pest control, they're really not related. So what you start looking like is the handyman service of different things, and you're not specializing in one certain specific thing. So that's my take on that. It's next to no cost to start up, and I already have a few contacts to give me a jump start on that. I would absolutely do it. And even if you don't get the business, right now, is it hurting you? Is there a lot of money tied up in overhead for that type of business? And then he says, plus it seems like there would be a little bit more of a crossover customer, have a nasty house that need to, yeah, absolutely. So you could grow your leads organically through your dumpster contacts. You drop a dumpster off, you're bullshitting with the homeowner, and, hey, I do this pest control thing too. So that's really smart. You should do a video on that, Daniel. Like, what's it entail to be a pest control kind of guy? I'm really interested in hearing about that. So some of the other things that we do, we also let me know if the video is choppy on this camera. Also, it may be a camera issue. I do woodworking, and she does crafts and laser engraving and all of that. I do big fancy pieces like this. This is a piece of walnut. When I took basically a charcuterie board, and I cut out our steak, the outline of our steak, and married those together on this nice piece of walnut. So I like to do things like that, that type of woodworking. And I do charcuterie boards and all of that. My wife gets into, it's probably going to shake the camera a little bit. she gets into these street signs for Halloween or 3D or layered, I guess. She has a couple of those. She started making a lot of 3D printed items. This is a iPhone holder or phone holder. You can put a tablet on there. I do things like this with the laser engraver. It's a duck call with a duck hunter in the middle of it. So, and I do mine out of, walnut and cherry and all of that. So, outside of hats and t-shirts and all of that stuff, our crafting and woodworking has kind of given us another business. Is it recession proof? Absolutely not. Nobody's going to buy a cutting board in the middle of a recession, I'll guarantee you that. But I don't know, we like it. All right, so that's really what we talked about last night. Now, is this camera worse? Is this the one that's glitching? Because it might be the camera. Nobody said anything in the comments yet. But that's basically what we talked about last night, just how to move into a recession in your current business. If you start to slow down, what's that going to look like? I know that dumpsters are not recession proof because they're not even safe when kids go back to school. When it's go back to school week, we slow right down. So it's not like, it takes a big massive thing to slow down this industry. We're very luxury, side angle. Front camera is jittery. Well, geez. So this one is jittery. I don't know. And my wife says the video's not matching. Hey, I'm just going to give this up. I think it's the laptop I'm using. I usually do it on my Mac. Everything works great. I'm using an old iMac, an old MacBook Pro. I don't know. But, all right, no take 3 on this. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. I'm just going to probably delete this video. I'll watch it. All right. Wife says for her it's just the audio. Just the audio is not matching. And that's kind of what was happening yesterday. I don't know what's going on. I need Josh Roman's audio is jittery too. That might be me. I need Josh Roman's camera guy or something. I don't know. Says we can handle it. Oh, anyway, so yeah, a lot of people getting into other businesses and whatever, and some are related, some are not. And yesterday I had mentioned like Josh Roman was getting into trailer sales and whatever, and it's kind of related. But I don't know. I quit my daytime. I say daytime. Yeah, my wife says, you can do it. I can do it. So I was working as a diesel mechanic at night for a local truck shop, and I gave it up, and I've been busy just because of that. So now I'm really focusing on landing the leads of those people that call. I'm not so nonchalant about missing a lead or selling a can. So now that I'm not working, I'm like, man, what happens if we have a recession or whatever? And I'm not overly worried because I do have other income streams, but man, it could happen. It could really be. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to try. Is the audio matching now? We'll see. I switched to different microphone. So I should have had all these worked out before. I did like 5 test lives, and you know. But anyway, so yeah, after getting done that job, I'm focused a little bit more on the sale, on making sure that I'm selling every dumpster that I can, making every dime that I can. And now I need to start looking at what can I do. Oh, it's worse. Uh-oh. I'll just stick with this then. You guys can deal with that shitty video, I guess. It's all about content, right? So, but now I've got to kind of look at what else can I do as this business sort of starts to just kind of run itself. It's a lot easier to run now, 2 years in. What can I get into and to make some more money and put a little focus into something else? A little focus, a little money. Yeah, last night was horrible. I watched that and I could only get through about 3 minutes of it, and I went in, deleted it, and created a thumbnail for take 2 because, yeah. I don't have a lot of subscribers, like 500 and some subscribers, and I will never be, you know, in the 30,000s and stuff like some of them guys, but I do like to get on here. I do like to get on here occasionally and, you know, give my opinion and show kind of what's up with my business and how I'm doing. So, and I like doing, believe it or not, I like doing the video part of it. This one's coming out really not that good, but my other channel, we're going to start doing some lives on. So this channel, I get to kind of test it out. But anyway. So that's what we talked about last night, and I'm not going to waste a whole lot of your time tonight because everybody that was on here now was on there last night. So I appreciate you guys tuning in again, and once again, sorry for the video and all of that. Dana the Dumpster Helper says, heck yeah. I'm not sure what he's listening is fine. Yeah, a lot of times that's what I do is just listen. Whether I'm driving down the road or whatever, I'll just listen to someone's video. But hey, I really appreciate you guys tuning in, and we'll see if I can get this video stuff taken care of and try and make this a weekly thing with a subject. So I don't like getting on there and just kind of talking about nothing. I like to do a little bit of research, you know, talk about what can we do in a recession, what can we do when fuel prices go up, how can we get discounts? I think Daniel actually has some discounts that he advertises on his channel for fuel. So, you know, that's good information to have. Other than that, thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you next time. All right, have a good night.